Martine with Weather Co-op, where weather meets community. We are tracking storms making it into Southern California. So we've been tracking an area of low pressure, an upper level low to be specific, that is now going to impact us and move southeast towards and across the Southern California region. Now, here's the deal. This particular system is going to bring us some rain. It's not going to bring us a lot of rain. Nonetheless, it's still something we want to be very aware of. Additionally, we'll be tracking another storm system making it here by Wednesday into Thursday that really will make quite an impact when it comes to, well, the amount of rain we can expect. And we'll go through that in detail. I'm certified broadcast meteorologist Erica Martine, Skywarn Storm Spotter, and Weather Ready Nation ambassador. And I'm also the founder of Weather Co-op, where weather meets community. I'm going to go ahead and onto our chroma key. I'm here tonight. It's just about midnight in Southern California. So actually, let me go ahead and give myself some light as well while I'm at it. I'm here solo. I also wanted to make sure that we discuss some of the situation that's happening across the Gulf states. We are also seeing some storms that are going to be a little bit stronger, and we're seeing some updrafts to perhaps produce some hail right around the Gulf Coast. We'll talk about it in just one moment. But of course, we are talking about that rain headed into Southern California. We're already seeing that initial rain band making it in. And as I said, some storm cells just offshore. Now I'm going to go back to my desk in just one moment, but I do want to show you this is the area of interest, of course. And again, we are tracking this particular first system of this week, one of two. What's interesting about this and what I want you to keep in mind is that we are concerned when it comes to the snow levels and when it comes to the snow, we're concerned about the possibility of this snow being a lot heavier and a lot more wet. I've been talking about this quite a bit, but that's really important, especially as we are already in meteorological spring, right? And then we approach astronomical spring as well, and conditions get warmer for any type of wintry precip. But we are tracking these guys just offshore, and once I get to my desk, we're going to talk a little bit more about those guys, because I'll tell you what, they are a little active right now, and we're definitely seeing the potential for perhaps some light hail tonight. Again, this is not going to be a big weather situation across Southern California, but I certainly wanted to mention that. Now, we're also again seeing, as I mentioned, some storms that are going to make their way just along the Gulf Coast there. Not a big story, but we do have some concern for fire weather, as you can see here in that beige hashing. So this is a fire weather watch, as opposed to here where you see that red hatching, that red, darker red color. That is a fire weather warning or a red flag warning. And so of course we're going to consider things like very dry conditions and stronger winds, wind speeds, and wind gusts. Now I want you to know you're seeing a lot of winter type weather alerts here up and along the southern Great Basin and into the Sierra Nevadas and portions of Oregon. We're going to get to that in just one moment, and we'll talk about why that's the case. But again, I'm meteorologist Erica Martine, and you are here with me right now at Weather Co-op, where weather meets community, and we are going to dig in to those storm cells that they're calling my name. Erica, oh Erica, let me head on over to my desk. Oh Erica, oh yes, I hear you, storms. Let's go ahead and track those. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and focus a little bit on what's happening here. So, all of you that are joining, hi, thank you so much for joining. It is late, right? It's midnight here, PDT, and 3 a.m. on the East Coast, Mountain Time, Central Time. You guys just do the math. It's not that hard. But let's go ahead and talk about what's happening as far as our storms go just offshore. So this is the band I'm talking about here. This is the rain I'm talking about. And quickly, I gotta focus on a few things. Let me go to this one first, because we're seeing some rotation. Okay, this looks like a Titan impact range between maybe 2.5 to about 5.5. So this guy right here is the one we're going to be watching very closely. Let's focus in on the location. As I just mentioned to you, we're looking at the area right around the Texas coast here, the Gulf Coast. Do you see that really strong influence of that southerly push, the Gulf? I haven't even looked at the temperatures of the Gulf Coast, of the Gulf right now. I'm assuming they're in the upper 80s. That means I haven't looked at them today. I will look at them again, of course. And now we're already getting reports here of hail. Can you see that? Right around, let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Mathis, you're seeing some hail, it looks like. Let's pick up this guy right here as well. Let's see, what is one of the closer towns? Mirando City. You're also seeing some updraft. Do you see how this one, let me go ahead and stop this to right now, because we are getting this radar loop 3-hour loop. Right now, you can see, I'm going to pause this to current time. Let's see. There we go. Here he is. He's finally still. This guy right here, he's been running along and really firing up quite a bit, because it was just offshore and now it's making its way into, let's see what neighborhood this is here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit and make sure I get you guys some good names here. Mirando City, Ranchitos, Las Lomas. It's southeast of the area. Let's see what else we're seeing in this region. Let me zoom in. Sometimes if you zoom in, then just zoom right back out. You get a couple of names there. Southwest of Freer and west of Benavides. So this is the area we're looking at right now, and we want to make sure that you're aware that there is, this storm in particular is producing hail, larger hail than this one is, all right? Just southeast of Tynan and Mathis. Well, east of Mathis, okay? Now, we're going to head on over to the West Coast, and we're going to head on over to Southern California. These are the guys we are tracking right now. Well, this one guy, he's the one guy that remains, okay? So he's a couple of miles offshore. Let's go ahead and just measure this. All right, let's go to Oceanside. Did you see this one right here? Can't see. There we go. There we go. It's a little bit better as far as lighting goes. All righty. Do you see this? So it's about 72 miles offshore. 2 hours out, so it's not very close. By the time it gets here, it likely won't be a storm, but you can see it's pretty active offshore, which makes sense as far as why we are seeing the small craft advisory issued by the National Weather Service from San Mateo to Point to the Mexican border, extending 30 to 60 nautical miles out. So small craft advisory remains in effect from 4 a.m. until 6 p.m. PDT. Tuesday, southerly winds could top out to 20 knots, gusts up to 25 knots, seas 7 to 10 feet expected. So coastal waters from San Mateo Point to the Mexican border, and the impact, hazardous conditions for small crafts. So just please keep that in mind. Just be aware. Let's pick another city, something I think, why not? Let's just maybe go with Oceanside. Let's see what else could populate. This is an interesting little guy. I always love San Clemente. Let's go ahead and measure this from San Clemente. Okay. So, 68, 69 miles. Just under 2 hours out. So that's the distance. Again, not really going to impact anybody here. Although it might pick up a little bit of steam simply because of that that southeast push. Sorry, southeast push. I'm just looking at a couple of different directions because now I'm looking at this right here as well. Wait, let me undo this quickly. See this here? Oh, come on. Let's get back to this. Here we go. Do you see this flow here? We're getting here. I want to see something very quickly for you all. Yeah, trough. Okay. We're starting to see a little bit more of a dynamic situation, especially across Southern California. Right around San Diego, we're seeing a trough that's developing. And as you can see, we are also seeing another storm system, another little storm that's making its way just offshore. It's just a couple of miles off of away from Oxnard. Let's measure that as well. Well, just about 20 miles from Oxnard, and thankfully the National Weather Service is there, so that worked out quite well, didn't it? 32 minutes out. We'll, of course, watch that very closely for you, but I do love timing out these storm cells for you. This particular cell right now, just be aware, this particular cell is not producing any hail right now. We're just seeing updraft. Now, what that does mean is that we have the possibility of course, it producing hail, because you need to have that in order to produce the hail. Okay, so let's see what we could look at for any products that could help us out here. Let's see some local storm reports perhaps. We'll look at these. They'll likely populate quite a bit, and I'm only going to go last 3 hours, okay? Because if I pull this out a little bit farther, let's see, in time, we might see more storm reports, especially out here. See, we've got looks like a non-thunderstorm wind gust situation there, okay? So let's go back to this rain. We're going to loop it one more time. We're going to go 3 hours. That's our usual loop, 3-hour SATRAD loop. And we do include our weather alerts. And as you can see here, we do have our flood watch that has been issued by the National Weather Service in effect starting Wednesday evening through Thursday afternoon. The concern here is flash flooding and debris flow caused by excessive rainfall that could happen, right? I do want to add this. Now, this is something I am very confident in saying. While this particular system that we're seeing now isn't going to produce a lot of rain, I still don't want you to take it for granted because we have the possibility of any type of standing water and any type of localized flooding, ponding, etc. And with the infrastructure as it stands, it's something we should be pretty aware of. Now let's get our weather co-op futurecast into motion. There is that first system on Tuesday, and here you go, Wednesday into Thursday. Look what happens here. I'm going to toggle this back here. Do you see this is what we're looking at right now through tomorrow? Again, not a lot of rain, and I'll show you just how much. However, I just say, please be advised, please be aware, please just be, aware of your surroundings and be alert and share it with your friends and family. Tell them to tune into Weather Co-op. And we're so always grateful for all of you supporting us. Now, we're going to go into Wednesday. Look what happens here. This is the bigger storm system we're waiting for, okay? This is the one we've been talking about for the past several days. This is quite a weather maker. Look what happens through Wednesday afternoon. It really picks up afternoon hours. And then we start to see more moderate, steady rain, and then we get the snow as well. Now, I have seen some forecasts that have been a little bit, I think, loosey-goosey, not a technical term, but loosey-goosey with the snow. Again, look at what's happening here. It is not only snow, it's a mix. That leads me to believe that we're looking at a 5-to-1 ratio when it comes to snow to liquid, right? So snow liquid ratio, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at how heavy is that snow or how light and fluffy the dreamy type of snow. In this case, we're looking at a lot more of a wet, heavy snow. We're going to continue this through. There it goes. It moves through the Great Basin, up and along the Intermountain West, Pacific Northwest. You're not excluded. Across the southern, central, northern Rockies. And finally, just continuing through portions of the just starting to flirt with at least 72 hours out, flirting with the portions of the southern central plains. It's just starting to flirt with that area, but you can see the Rockies will be impacted along with the Intermountain West, along with the Great Basin. And so we're going to make sure we keep an eye on that for you. Sierra Nevadas as well going to be impacted. So we are going to make sure we keep you up to date on what's happening there. You're also seeing that wintry mix that's happening. Let's see who else is getting some. We're getting some right across the desert southwest as well. High Plains, Great Plains, Northern Plains getting some as well. And look at that influx of that southwesterly and southeasterly. It's really a west-southwest, southerly, southeasterly flow from the Gulf, okay? So it's just making its way in. It's nice and juicy. It's nice and warm. And it's all headed right across the middle of the nation, okay? Let's see what else we have here. I believe I set one up for you just for Southern California. It's going to go ahead and show you what's happening tomorrow. That exits early, but then that next one follows suit rather quickly, okay? Crestline, Yucca Valley, Palm Springs. So we're looking at some areas here where we're going to want to keep in mind anywhere with a higher elevation, we might see some type of orographics, meaning that we're going to have to just look at what type of precip gets there simply because of the snow level, right? So we'll look at that. Rosamond, Mojave, Arvin, all seeing the potential there for some type of a mix. Let's bring this back, starting this right now. I mean, it's midnight, okay? We're going PDT, moving this through. We're getting some rain. I'll head out of here soon enough before I run into moderate rain showers through early tomorrow morning. And then it breaks, right? Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Here's the next one, right? So now we start to see, let me pull something else up quickly, okay? We're going to update this quickly. All right. We start to get set up with a trough and that prefrontal precip, okay? That's going to be the introduction of that system late Wednesday into Thursday. Please be advised. At that point, you're going to want to start to really pay attention to what's happening here at Weather Co-op, where we will be updating you hour by hour, and we'll keep you up to date live on our 24-hour live stream. So as we continue with our Weather Co-op Futurecast hour by hour through Wednesday night, are you seeing how it becomes a lot more moderate, steady, copious, right in that area where we've experienced the fires earlier this year, right? So this is going to be a problem. I will be sure to provide several local communities with some updates. This is very important to note. I want you all to make sure that you are spreading the word, because we are going to get a good amount of rain. Rain that definitely will cause debris flow and mudslides. It's not if, it's not possibly, likely it will. Okay, it's just too delicate in this area. We're certainly going to see flooding. And if we go to our next graphic here, let's let this run through. Okay, let's go to our next one. Here we see our rainfall totals. So let's just pull this through this system that's moving through tonight. Again, it's 1,006 millibars. It's nothing to write home about, but still you want to be aware, especially for your morning commute. If you're watching right now, thank you for watching. And if you're not, make sure you share it. Hopefully somebody shares it with you. Or make sure you record us. How about that? Okay, so you can see here that we're not really seeing any extravagant rainfall totals, okay? But that will then clear the way. Bye. And then we'll be tracking the next system. Let's see what we're getting here. We might be getting Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So I had to run this through a couple of times. I might have the ECMWF at 9 kilometers, guys, okay? Look what happens here. These rainfall totals for Tuesday, not very impressive, right? Less than half an inch for the most part. I mean, we're seeing 1/4 of an inch, half an inch. But then for that next system coming in on Wednesday, look how these numbers really become impressive, okay? Through midnight. So this is Wednesday. So this is until Thursday midnight, PDT. Look at these numbers. We're now seeing rainfall totals anywhere between 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches. And it's not, it's a pretty broad area. It's talking about Ontario, Burbank, Wrightwood, Crestline, Inglewood, Torrance, Corona, Malibu, of course, Pacific Palisades, Simi Valley, Santa Clarita. You guys have been getting quite a bit of rain lately. Beverly Hills, Mission Viejo, Palm Springs, Escondido, Beaumont, and San Diego, along with Pine Valley. And there are others, but look, Santa Maria, Santa Ynez, Ojai, Carpinteria, Simi Valley, Port Hueneme. You all are going to see rainfall totals anywhere between about 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches. And I do think they're going to favor the higher numbers. There's a lot of rain associated with this. And remember, there's that prefrontal boundary and an associated trough with this system moving in on Wednesday through Thursday. The heavier rain, let's go back a little bit right here, guys. Let's pull this back, okay? Work with me here. Be really patient. Look at this. All right, we're going to go Tuesday. That's what's happening right now. It's midnight. I'm here. Committed. All right. Or committed. Committed or committed. Huh. Okay. All right. And then here we go. Wednesday. Now we start to see the new system moving in with that associated cold front. That one's a lot stronger. We're seeing, let's see, probably about 996, 998 millibars I'm going to go with about 996 millibars. I think it'll be a little bit stronger as it moves across the west, across California. So I think 996 millibars for that system Wednesday into Thursday. But for the system that's making its way through tonight into tomorrow, it's a lot weaker, about 1,006 millibars. Nonetheless, please be safe out there. And if you have any questions, be sure you just DM me and I would be happy to answer. We have a wonderful group of weather watchers in our community here to help you. I'm happy to provide you with any information you need. I'm certified broadcast meteorologist Eric Martin, Skywarn Storm Spotter, and Weather Ready Nation ambassador with Weather Co-op, where weather meets community. Bye. Have a great night and be safe. Bye.